Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Code with Santosh. In this chapter we are going to discuss about the CSS positions. So whenever you are designing some complex page, then you need these positions to be implemented in that page so that you can get the design according to your requirement. Okay. So there are mainly five positions are available for CSS. So first one is static CSS. Okay, so static position. What does it mean? So static position is a default position of particular element. So this you can see here in a browser. This is our normal paragraph text for which we have not used any CSS for positions. Okay, and for this one, second line we have used position static for this particular element. So let me go to the CSS file here. You can see that this one is position static and this one is common for all the p tags, but here in this p tag we have not used any position for p element. Okay, so here we have used a class as static. You can see this static class here associated with this p element, and in static class we have defined the position as static. So static behaves the same way as normal p tag. So static is a default behavior or default position of any element. If you don't define anything, it means the position of that element is static. Okay, so let me save this and run this on the browser. So you can see that there is no change for this particular item. Okay, it is in its own position, in its own place. It is not moved somewhere else when we have uncommented the CSS for this. Okay, so this is the default behavior of position relative. Second item is position fixed. Okay, so this p tag is using position fixed. So let me go to our HTML. Here we have used a class as fixed for this text. Okay, so here let me uncomment this, and fixed is used so that whenever we scroll or we scroll down or scroll up to a section, then this element stays in our viewport itself where we have defined it. Okay, it does not move according to our scroll. So let me save this and run this on the browser so that you can see and understand. Okay, you can see that we have a scroll here, and when we are scrolling down, you can see that this content remains in its position. It is not moving up or down. Okay, so this is the meaning of position fixed. Okay, this remains in its position where we have defined, and it always stays in our viewport. Okay, so you can also add some values here like top 25 pixel, and you can also define this left something, or you can define bottom or right, etc. Okay, for static I am adding some padding here so that this text does not overlap with another text. Let me save and run this. Because we have kept its position top as 25 pixel, it just goes on the top of our viewport, and on the left is 0. That's why it just went on the most left section of our screen. Okay, so let me remove this so that this comes where we have defined it. Okay, you can see that here we have defined, so it came down there. Sorry. Okay, so this is about the fixed element. Next one is relative. So relative also behaves the same way. Here you can see that we have used a class for relative and this is our content. Okay, so relative behaves the same way as our static or default element behaves. So this one is our relative item, and when we are scrolling there is no change to this item. Okay, so this is our relative. It behaves the same way as static one, but also you can add here some values like top or left or right. Okay, like this way, and bottom. So these values you can supply to this item according to your requirement, and this behaves same as a static one. Okay, so this is about the relative one. Now we come to our fourth one, that is absolute. So absolute is very important to understand here. Let me uncomment this. And absolute goes to its parent, where we have defined this parent. So for content holder is this, you can see that this content holder is the parent for these p elements. Okay, so we have defined our content holder as position relative. So whenever you are defining the position absolute, you also need to define the position relative to its parent. Okay, where you want to keep this absolute element. So we have defined this relative, the parent one, and the child, the p tag we are using as absolute. And here you can also supply the value as top 0 and left 0. Okay, let me save this, and I am not refreshing this page. So first see that this absolute is here when we have not defined any CSS for this. Okay, and this is our content area. Okay, this is our content area, which is parent of this particular p element. So here this parent is position relative. Now if we refresh this page, you can see that this absolute one just goes on the top part of its parent section. Okay, and it is using top 0, that's why it is just on the top of this section, and left is 0, that's why this is just aligned to the left part of this parent. Okay, we can change this to 25 pixel to understand how this works. Now you can see that there is 25 pixel space on the left. So this way you can position a particular element using position absolute, and its parent has to be in position relative, so that it can be there in that section. Otherwise it will move out of this section and go to some other position relative section. Okay, so this is how you can define the position absolute. Okay, when we are scrolling, the position absolute also scrolls according to our scroll bar. Okay, and our last item is position sticky. So as its name suggests, that sticky is like it gets stuck to some position. Okay, according to our values supplied. So let me go to this HTML, and you can see that here we have defined a sticky class and this is our sticky element. Okay, so let me refresh, and now you can see that this one is sticky, and let me remove this sticky, and we have some UL here. Let me copy and paste this UL, because normally when we are defining some navigation we use this sticky so that our navigation always remains in same position. Okay, let me uncomment this, and I will also remove these items for the time being. Okay, to show this how this sticky works. Let me refresh. Let me uncomment this one as well. And there are other CSS elements defined to this. I will uncomment this one as well. So now you can see that our this navigation is in its position, but when we are scrolling it goes up and stays on the top. We are still scrolling, but it is stuck to a position where we have defined it. Okay, so it is stuck on top of our section, top of our viewport. So you can also define these values, so it will be top or left, whatever you define it here. So we are saying that it will be 10 pixel from top and it will be 0. Okay, let me save and run this on the browser. Now you can see this way you can make this sticky position, and it's stuck to a particular position where you want to keep them. Okay, so that's all for this video. We have covered all our position, and that's all. Before moving forward, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe my channel. It will give me a huge motivation to create such videos. Thanks for watching. I will meet you again in our next chapter. Bye bye.